Holy fucking shit. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. There's hella fans going on in this apartment, so if you hear them, I apologize. Cheers. I have a singular Modelo left, so I'm going to drink it, obviously, of course. I hope you guys had a good Father's Day. That was yesterday. It was a pretty good time for me. I went to my dad's house. My sister was there. His girlfriend was there. My sister and I got some booze and smoked. We were just chilling. My dad and I, we all talked about like nostalgic moments and shit. Times me and my sister would beat on each other and shit. It was an awesome ass time, actually. I think I need more of those times, really, to heal my past, honestly, because I have a skewed, fucked up version of what the hell happened when we were kids, I think. Well, not necessarily, I remember what happened, a lot of it, but we were kids. So none of us knew what the fuck we were doing, and we're all just fucking around, beating on each other, being assholes, being retarded. Being a kid's crazy, and you really don't, a lot of people don't sit there and, process the trauma, and just not necessarily even trauma. Just the regular shit that could have happened during your childhood. A lot of shit goes down. But, what else was I gonna say? There was something else I was gonna say about that. Oh, yeah. I came back here that I smoked with Chancey Poo. Him and I were gonna do one yesterday. I sat down to do a podcast yesterday. I realized I was fucking sauced, bruh. I was way too sauced to sit down for a podcast, but I started it, got everything set up, started it. About a minute in, Chance walks in the house. I'm like, thank God I'm saved. I start messing with the mic too much and putting it over here, putting it in his face, talking, putting it in his face, just being unnecessary. And then the cord came out of the mic, and I used that as an excuse. It wasn't, I have to end this. No, it's an excuse, because I could have just put the cord back in. I'm like, God damn, I guess I'm done. And then I asked Chance, you want to go smoke? All right, let's go smoke. So, yeah, I was going to give you guys something yesterday. Every time I want to record a podcast, I'm either too sauced or the computer's not free. I got to just be ready all the time. Just never not be ready for this podcast, all right? That way I could just sit down at any moment of my life and just record one. That's actually not a bad move. But something I've been thinking about today is we always know when we're failing, right? You know what a failure is. If you're fucking up to the point where you're failing, you know what went wrong, right? But not a lot of us sit down and wonder what went right, or what it looks like when we're doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really thinks about that. What does that look like? Is that when other people tell us we're doing correctly, or is that when we're telling ourselves when we're doing it correctly? We could explore that idea. Just let me pop his in. I had put a 6 milligrammer in here. There's a 6 milligram in here somewhere. But they all look the exact same. So there's really no way of telling which one that is. But I put it in here yesterday, shook it up, and then it just disappeared. I still haven't found it today. The reason I know that is because I'm fiending for a 6 milligram. These are 3s. I've been putting 3s in all day. If we get a 6er on the pod, this better be a good pod. How I'm going to be able to tell is if I get hiccups or not. Because these 3s they haven't been giving me the hiccups. So it has something to do with the strength of the nicotine. But I think this is another 3. I think it's another 3. So let's explore this idea. How do we know when we're doing right? We have to be very introspective and self-aware. You have to be constantly looking at your own thoughts and how you act in situations, how you react. What kind of person do you look up to? What kind of person is a good person to you? Because that's hard. It's really hard because a lot of people worship celebrities and they want to look up to these people just because they're famous or they have a lot of money. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're a good person. And I think that's why I like podcasts. Just give me a second. I think that's why I like podcasts, is because you can't bullshit somebody for more than a few hours. And let's say you get through, let's use Joe Rogan's podcast, for example. Let's say somebody gets through the entire Joe Rogan podcast completely bullshitting. They fool him. They got him 100%, my bad. They got him 100% fooled. And he's like, oh shit, I like you. I want you back on. And you're like, fuck. And then you try to prepare again. Maybe you do it 2, 3, 4 times. But there's no way you're going to fool somebody for a whole lifetime, or maybe even a year. Maybe you can fool somebody for a year, but if you try to like sit down and talk to somebody and get an in-depth conversation and try to just present yourself as authentically as possible, if you're creating lies and stories and bullshit, it's going to come out real fast because it's just not going to work. There's no way to sit here and bullshit for 3 hours. I mean, we could bullshit for a few minutes, crack some jokes, you know what I'm saying, but at the end of the day, you have to be yourself in order to like truly just flow. That's basically what this is a flow type. I've talked about that before, where it's a flow. It's basically like water. Like normally, our normal ways of thinking, I'll describe it, is we've got, so you know those, I don't remember what like bridge it is or whatever, it's like a canal or some shit where they bring ships through and they slowly raise the water level up so that people can, let's look this up. Where's my phone? Alright, let's never look this up. My phone's over there. It's going to stay over there. It's distraction anyway. So there's this, I think it's a canal where we export things and bring things in. And so this canal, it has different chambers, like 3 chambers or something like that. And the ship will enter from one side and it'll go into this chamber. And then the chamber will raise the water level up to match the second chamber. And then you go into the second chamber, and the second chamber will match the third chamber. And then you should be at your point, right? Because the water level up here is higher than this one down here. Why do we talk about that? Why were we talking about that? I don't remember why we brought that up in the first place. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was a weird noise. I'm starting to wonder now because I was talking about this ship. Oh, I remember. Okay, so that's kind of how our brain's operating. It's just not in that kind of fashion. Let's say there's one chamber that rises and lows. Alright? Is that a good analogy? No. Let's say that instead of that chamber, we got a slope. So the water will just flow naturally, right? And then you could put those walls back up, and then the water stops. It's like a dam. That's basically how we think. We normally how we're thinking is we get a thought, and then we let it flow a little bit, and then we get another thought, and we let that flow a little bit, and then we get another thought, and we let that flow a little bit, till maybe we've had 5, 6 thoughts, right? What I think the brain is really meant to be doing is to be exploring these thoughts that you're getting in a very deep manner. And then you could talk to other people about those thoughts and your ideas on those thoughts. That way you can make sure, okay, say I talk to Chance about an idea I'm having. He'll give me what he thinks is right, and he'll also give me what he thinks is wrong. So not only am I refining this idea in a better manner, but I'm also getting rid of the bad ideas. I was going to say weed out, but I'm getting rid of the bad ideas, or the bad thought processes associated with that idea. And on top of that, if you think about something in depth for a period of time, see, it's weird, because time doesn't really exist in our brain. In our brain, it's just all one. I mean, obviously we could differentiate between a memory and then like an imagined, like a future moment when we're thinking about something. But the time doesn't really exist in there, because you're kind of time traveling around. You're going from one memory to the next. Oh, I'm going to use this knowledge that I learned back then to become a millionaire and there. That's two completely different time periods locked into one linear thought. And so, well, I think we just have to let our brain flow naturally. So you get a thought, say, let's just bring up Twitter for an example. Well, what comes to mind when Twitter comes up? Let's see. It's a social media company. Elon Musk owns it. It's a pretty good platform for posting free speech and ideas. There's a lot of bots on it. You just bring up the pros and cons, just things you remember about Twitter, right? And then you can explore one of those things. Elon Musk. Elon Musk, he owns SpaceX, the Boring Company, Tesla, Twitter now. He's a billionaire. He's a really cool guy from what I've seen on podcasts and stuff. I think he's pretty open-minded and willing to accept it if he's wrong. But I'm not going to say I don't think he's wrong often. That's probably something wrong to say. I think he's probably wrong often, but he also puts a lot of thought into what he's doing and where he was wrong to improve for next time. I think to get an Elon Musk, you have to have the right mix of brain chemicals. Probably the upbringing helped, his school system in South Africa. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? Fucking Elon Musk is African American. He's a white African American. That's crazy shit, because he was born in South Africa. When I first found that out, I was blown away. I'm like, God damn, there's white African Americans? African American is just an African in America. So what the hell are American black people considered? Just black people? I don't think I want to be called African American, because I'm not from Africa. I'm just American, right? It seems logical to me. Why would you call somebody Norwegian British if they were just born in Britain, but they have Norwegian background? That doesn't make any sense. I didn't even think about this before today, but that doesn't make sense at all. Why doesn't it just say, what do you call somebody from Africa then? Just African? So why am I calling... So if I move over to Africa, am I American African now? What the fuck are we doing? Words are so stupid. We always get caught on words. Words are just stepping stones to ideas. You're like, boom, 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 until the idea is realized. And a lot of us get caught on words. Like, there's this guy named Mark that I work with at Bago. This guy, I swear to God, he's a little fruity. He has to be, because... So now I have two experiences of the same thing. One I didn't have myself. It was from Chance. He had told me that he was joking around with this coworker of ours that when Chance had worked there at the time. And he was joking around, like, making gay jokes and shit. And this guy Mark comes up and he's like, "Don't fucking talk about faggots around me. I hate that shit." And he got super fucking pissed for no reason. They weren't even talking to him. And then today, me and my homie Calvin, which I think he's going to get on the podcast at some point, I think he's a little nervous or something. I don't blame him. I never force anybody to get on. That's why I'm always just sitting here by myself. People don't want to do it as much as I do. I've accepted that. And I just sit here and fucking talk to myself like a weirdo. But I think it's fun and I like doing it. Get your thoughts out in a linear manner, and then you can think about them later on. And there's other things that you don't think about, and then you think about after, and you're like, shit, I should have talked about that. It's just a cool thing to do, I think. I didn't know how I'd feel about it or if I wanted to keep doing it when I first started this thing, but I do enjoy doing it a lot. Even if people don't even fucking listen. I mean, I get some decent views still. 11 people. Not terrible. It's all these kinds of weird noises that distract me. I think those are vehicles. No, somebody's mowing. Every time. Somebody's always mowing when I start doing this shit. I don't even know who mows that much. Isn't it kind of weird that we mow grass? Because grass is like natural and it just grows there. And we're like, nah, I like it short. The grass is like, what the fuck, dude? I'm trying to grow. And it'd be like cutting somebody's human legs off as a kid. You just cut their legs off like, nah, I like them a kid. And then the kid's like, what the fuck, dude? Except the kid can't grow his legs back. That's kind of crazy. Who's to say that the grass doesn't have feelings and doesn't know you're cutting it up? What if it's screaming in pain? We don't know. We don't fucking know anything. That's what I pride myself on. I don't know a goddamn thing. I wish I did. I know some things, but it's just from learning, like, and there's always more to learn. What else is going on? I saw my brother the other day. We chilled, fucked around, smoked some shit. He's doing pretty good. I'm happy to see him, actually, because he was in the same mode I was for a while. He was just depressed and sad, and it seems like he's doing a lot better, a lot happier. Bro, I love seeing people like that, man. I love seeing people happy. On social media, it kind of fucks you up. It's not really what you want to see, right? Because you kind of feel jealous sometimes. But I think jealousy is supposed to point you into a better direction so that you're not sitting in the same spot your entire life. If you're jealous about something that somebody has or is doing, then go and do it or grab it. Like, work for whatever you want to do. I think that's the main point of life. But he's a lot happier. He's about to have a kid, actually, which is insane. My brother's about to have a baby. In December, I think, but he's got a stepdaughter with, I guess it's his daughter. It's his legal daughter. He adopted her, and he's got it with his wife now. That's what I'm happy to see them, man. I'm happy to see them building a family. My cousin's he's gonna have a baby soon. It's crazy, bruh. At one point, I kind of felt behind because I'm like, goddamn, am I supposed to be going to just get people pregnant now, or what am I doing here? Because a lot of people are getting pregnant in my class of kids, man. Hella people are pregnant. It's kind of wild. It's like, damn, we were just in school, like, what? I'm 21 this year, so 2 years ago? No way. 3 years ago, yeah. 3 years ago we were in school, and now we're all having babies and shit? What did we learn in these 3 years? Did we fucking do anything with our lives? Did all of us get rich? Like, and I'm not talking down on nobody. It's just like, nobody's prepared for that shit. And I'm not saying you'll ever be prepared, but you're gonna have a kid I guess our parents were having kids at 20, 21 years old, but I feel like in this time, it doesn't need to be that way. You can, wait. I'm not saying wait till you're 40, 50 years old to have a child, but why not 25, 30? You'll know more, you'll be more experienced, you'll have more knowledge. You'll be able to better help that child get through life. That's my main idea, is that I want to help this child get through life as best as possible. And at 20, 21 years old, I'm still learning myself how to do things. I barely know how to fucking wipe my own ass. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm still trying to figure that out. And everybody's trying to figure out what the hell's going on. But at such a young age, why would you risk that opportunity with your child? Especially a lot of them aren't working, or they're messing around, or they haven't been with the person that long. Like, there's a lot of scary situations that can develop from having a child at a young age with somebody you don't quite love. That's what I worry about constantly, is the love, man. I'm trying to look for somebody I can settle down with, have a wife and some kids, but I don't want to have like a traditional relationship where we're arguing all the time and where people are unhappy and kids are fucked up. And why the fuck can't we just talk about shit? Why do we gotta yell at each other and shit? It just doesn't make sense to me. We can't sit down and have a conversation about shit, then what the hell are we doing together? Why the hell did we get married? If we can't sit down and talk about anything and everything together, I don't care if I got a fucking weird rash on my ass that I need to talk to you about. You better fucking sit down and listen up, buddy. And I'll do the same thing for when you got a weird rash on your goddamn ass. But I'm not saying I'm going to do this for just anybody, so calm down. Whoever's getting excited out there, let's all calm down. But our generation, Gen Z, is just so into this hookup bullshit. I wonder if I could sit back here and still be heard. This hookup culture is just not for me, man. I can't do that. I tried it for a little while. A few years ago, actually. It wasn't that long ago. I'm not saying like, oh, you know, I'm this good man now. No, I'm still recovering. But as a kid, I really didn't have the chance because I was ugly as hell. I mean, I'm still a nerd, too. It's not like I fucking changed. I'm still this nerdy little guy that likes to read shit and watch YouTube and stuff. I just grew up a little bit. And I'm not as ugly. I'm still ugly, but not as ugly. I wonder sometimes if we even know what love is. Because you know it when you feel it. And you feel it initially in every relationship, right? But then the love fades away. Because the honeymoon effect goes away and you start to see everybody's flaws and realize that the other person's not as perfect as you thought they were, but we're all human. And I think that that's the point of the whole thing. Because I'm pretty sure it starts off with like oxytocin and a bunch of weird chemicals. And then I think it gradually just goes to normal chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. And if you're just depriving your dopamine and serotonin system because you guys aren't like experiencing life together as you should or whatever the hell may be the case, but I think it takes a lot of work. And especially with the divorce rates how they are, people are just so ready to give up. They're like, oh, fuck this, I'm done. What the hell are we doing, guys? You can't handle like a little discomfort. And I couldn't either. But we're growing to be adults now, and we're supposed to be fucking able to handle more and take more shit to the face. Like, everybody's waiting for life to get easier, and David Goggins has a great quote. Life's not going to get easier. We have to get harder. We have to develop our mind and our body and our spirit to be able to take all this bullshit life's about to throw at us. Because it's not about to get easier. What do you think? What do you think this is? It's been 20 years. Everybody's whining that they had a hard life already. And they just think the next 80 is going to be all fucking sunshine, rainbows, and smooth sailing. No. Hell no. This is about to be the hardest 80 years of our goddamn life. Life's hard, man. We're supposed to develop a career for ourselves and buy all this stuff that seems impossible because it's expensive. And we have to develop a family, which also seems hard, especially if you had a fucked up childhood with your parents. where you guys were arguing and not really communicating well, you don't know how to fucking be in a relationship then. You didn't see a good one. So what the hell are you doing? You was just sitting there fucking bobbling, hitting walls like boom, boom. And I'm just talking from my own experience, I guess. So I'm just talking. That's all we do here at the intellectual at Blatch Hole Pod. I'm sorry, at Blatch Hole Pod on Twitter. In the intellectual Blatch Hole Pod, we sit here over a few drinks and some smokes, and we sit here and just ponder the existence of life, in hopes of one day maybe we'll figure it out. Maybe one day while I'm recording this, some interdimensional being will come in, grab me out of the fucking podcast room, and he'll fucking throw me through the dimensional hole, and he'll just sit down and he'll be like, alright guys, here's what's going on. You guys are retarded. You think you're smart, but you're really fucking dumb. And you guys have been fucking this planet up. We're not about to let you go into the solar system, let alone other dimensions, with these tendencies. You're going to start leaving trash in other dimensions? Like, no, I'm not letting you in. So guys, here's the thing. You tighten up, or we're going to have this universe throw another asteroid at your planet, and we'll just start over again like we've done many times. And that's it, guys. So you guys decide what you want to do. Anything's possible. Maybe. Because apparently there's like 10 dimensions or some shit. That's what physicists or scientists or... Hold on, let me grab my phone. Because I'm just talking out of my ass. Sorry. I kicked the table. Let's look at this shit. How many dimensions of reality are there? According to this branch of theoretical physics, there are at least 10 dimensions of space, most of which are impossible for humans to receive. What is this? What is this? Let's look at this. So, number 1 is length. Number 2 is width. Number 3 is depth. 4 is time. 5 is probability. 6 is all possible universes branching from the same start conditions. Jesus crikey. That's wild. 7, all possible spectrums of universes with different start conditions. Universe where water is flammable. Universe where gravity repels instead of attracts. Universe where Harry Potter magic is real. Universe where light is 2 times faster. Universe where fire is cold. Those are all possible realities. Because the universe is infinite. There's another me in every other universe doing this exact same thing, but sometimes I go off on different tangents and I say different dumbass things instead of the things I say in this one. 8 is a plane of all possible universes, different start conditions. Faster. 7D travel. Travel to other universes necessitates passing through every universe in between. 8D travel, a plane each point of which represents a universe with different values for gravity and speed of light. Each movement along the line represents a movement to another universe changing across 2 variables. Hold on. Let me read this. Oh shit. I'm sorry again. In the 7th dimension, the multiverse we live in exists on any number of spectrums where the laws of physics are dialed up or down. For instance, we can place our multiverse at one point on a piece of paper and draw a straight line through it. If we want to visit a multiverse where the strength of gravity is weaker, we can move in one direction down that line. Each move along that line requires us to pass through each point that exists on that line. Remember that an infinite amount of points exists on any line. So in order to get to a multiverse with gravity at exactly half the strength of our home, we are forced to pass through every infinitesimally different universe in between. But remember, moving 7-dimensionally means that we are only dialing one universe law up or down at a time. You cannot change two of these variables at once. At the 7th dimension, you can't visit a universe where gravity is at half strength and the speed of light is also twice as fast. For that, you need to change the line to a plane, which, as you might have guessed, means you had another dimension. What the fuck? This is blowing my mind. The 8th dimension allows us to change two variables at once. Any multiverse we visit exists on any number of intersecting planes, each plane representing the relative relationship of the two variables in question and the infinite range of values at which you could set each variable. Whatever the fuck that means. I don't even know what that means. At the 9th dimension, we gain an additional degree of freedom. Just as we gain the ability to jump in the 3rd and 6th dimensions, we gain the same vertical freedom in the 9th dimension. This time, the new freedom translates to the ability to disappear from one multiverse and reappear in another, with a different multiverse with its own laws of physics and starting conditions. Hold on, let me read this again, I'm sorry. This time, the new freedom translates to the ability to disappear from one multiverse and reappear in another with a different multiverse, with its own laws of physics and starting conditions. So you can grab starting conditions. I don't know what that means. At last we reach the 10th dimension. Throughout this entire process, the addition of each dimension has followed a pattern. The 1st, 4th, and 7th dimensions are all represented by a line. 2nd, 5th, and 8th expand upon the dimensions before them by turning that line into a plane. And finally, the 3rd, 6th, and 9th dimensions turn that plane into something analogous to a 3D shape or solid. When we reach the 4th and 7th dimensions, we're asked to condense all data from the previous dimensions represented as a single point, connecting that point to another similar point with a line, and the whole pattern begins again. By the time we reach the 10th dimension, we've condensed the 9th to a single point. But hold on. Didn't the 9th dimension express every possibility that could ever arise in any universe with any laws and any time ever? What then is left to connect to a point that represents absolutely everything? The answer is nothing. There's no other dot we can connect to from here to create a line and measure something new. The 10th dimension is every event imaginable or unimaginable, with any start conditions and infinite variations that could ever or will ever occur under any circumstances condensed to a single point, with only nothingness extending beyond its reach. Just like the famous theorem tells us how having infinite monkeys at infinite typewriters would eventually result in the complete works of Shakespeare, one could imagine that any story or scenario you could imagine has happened in a universe somewhere. Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, all of them could be reality in some universe. No matter how low the odds, they're still not zero. So in an infinite and expansive universe or multiverse, they must exist somewhere. Holy shit. That's mind-boggling. What the hell? So just anything's happening. Anything you can think of is happening somewhere. That's kind of crazy. I don't even know what to think of that could be happening now, because my mind's just blown. That's why I like quantum physics and quantum science. It's cool, because it's completely different from anything else. You're going across every universe trying. That's what a quantum computer is. Instead of zeros and ones, it can be a 0 or a 1 at the same time. It's crazy. So instead of it taking, it could just do anything. The computer could do anything. We're about to change reality as we know it, bruh. I need to take these off for a second. I saw a video of this dude with Neuralink in his head. He was playing chess. How crazy is that? And he couldn't move his hands. He was in a wheelchair. So that's happening really quickly. I didn't think it was going to happen this fast. I used to call this big fist when I was a kid. I just remembered that. Goddamn. And it does look like a big fist. You just punched the shit out of somebody with it. I don't know what's wrong with me. What else do we got to talk about? What are we at here? 35 minutes, hell yeah. This thing kind of blew by. It wasn't too bad. We could also search up that fucking that thing now. We're gonna fucking see it. Water changing canal. Is it the Panama Canal? Panama Canal. I don't know if it's the Panama Canal. Panama Canal. Channels. Images. I think it is the Panama Canal. They have interlocking channels. Interesting. That's kind of crazy, man. That's so wild that we could do that as humans. Why was the Panama Canal linked? Military purposes. So what do you call those chambers then? Interesting. Why the fuck? Yeah, it is the Panama Canal because the water levels rise up. Even though that analogy was not great. Chance was talking about Mark. It's kind of funny. What else do we got to talk about, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know. I wonder if Trump's going to win or Biden's going to win. I'm kind of hoping that RFK gets on the ballot and shit. He's fighting real hard to do it. So he might have a chance, hopefully. I really hope he does, because he's probably the only one who can actually do something. But the thing is, they're going to try to kill that motherfucker so bad. Look at the rest of his family. His uncle, his dad, everybody. They just murdered his family. And that was the government. The government smuggled drugs. The government's fucking giving drugs to people and giving them STDs. They fuck people up quite often. It's kind of wild. Our government's not all sunshine and rainbows like they put out to be. That's why I don't really like them. I love America and the values and what we're supposed to be. But what this government pretends to be is not cool. It's totalitarian. It's just they do it under our noses. But recently, since COVID, they've been doing it right in front of our faces. They don't even care anymore. They're like, look, guys, we're fucking you over. And what are you going to do about it? Nothing. Fuck you. And we're just like, oh, I guess we'll just go back to work. Like, what the hell are we doing? They don't want us to realize that if we all just banded together, we'd be a lot stronger. 'Cause the citizens are the government. If we all decide we're smoking weed tomorrow, we're all smoking weed tomorrow. It's just the government. They don't like that shit. They're like, nah, let's keep these motherfuckers divided. Let's make them argue about something else. Let's make them argue about something retarded so that they won't focus on anything we're doing. And then we're like, what the fuck? Did you see that guy's wearing red shoes? I don't even like that color. That's bullshit. It's ridiculous. I hear weird people outside. It's kind of scary. I think I'm gonna end this thing, but we gotta get to 40 minutes. So you're gonna get some ASMR. Thank you for watching this video. If you watched to this point, thank you. share it, subscribe, and I love you guys. And I'll hopefully do one with Chance soon.